Oh.
Hey.
Hey there.
Okay, Christopher Walken. Oh.
Hey there.
I cannot do it. I am not an impressionist, but...
No.
Did you have a seizure when you started?
I don't know. Why?
You got a nervous tick going on.
Oh, hey there.
Oh, hi.
Oh?
Hi.
How are you?
Oh. I am well.
Good.
How are you?
I'm also doing very well. My name is Kate.
Fancy meeting you here, Kate. My name's Bradley.
And this is the History Buffoons.
We got there. Holy shit.
And this story you're going to love.
Are you sure?
Yes.
Is it about World War II?
No.
Thank God.
I know.
I like World War II, but goddamn, woman.
I know. I try really hard not to focus there, but just
It's hard
the stories are just...
there's a ton of stories, so I get it.
It's documented, and...
Oh, it's highly documented, so it's very easy to find stuff, but... And it's, again, I like World War II, but I want to mix it up a bit.
We're going back just over 100 years.
So, 1925? 6?
1922.
Oh, all right.
This is about Howard Carter.
Howard Carter.
He started out as an artist, but with obsession and a keen eye for detail, he became a huge spotlight in archaeology.
Oh.
In 1922, after years of digging in the dust, he finally struck gold. Literally.
Literally?
This is the story of Howard Carter and his discovery of King Tutankhamun's tomb.
Oh. Yeah, you're right. I'm going to like this.
I know. I know.
I love, old Egyptian stuff.
I know, me too. Sorry. If you have not listened to our Origin of Weird about Alm Seti,
yes,
please go back and listen to that.
Yes.
Alm Seti is she is a story about a woman who thought she was kind of reincarnated, and she was an Egyptian princess.
Yes.
So that was really interesting. I liked Alm Seti's.
Yeah, I enjoyed that story.
Yeah, that was a good one.
That was weird. Very weird. What was her real name?
Dorothy Eady.
So, do you want to know something really weird? We did that episode a while ago already.
Yeah. I'm trying to find it, and
I was scrolling through some weird shit.
Episode 20 of Origin.
Yeah, so I mean, that's 11 ago.
Yeah.
So that's quite a while ago because we do them every other week. I was scrolling through something earlier today, and this a guy started talking about Dorothy Eady. I'm like, I know that name.
Mm-hmm. It's Alm Seti.
So I just want to say we did it first. I'm just kidding.
Also,
I'm sure someone did it before us.
If you have not watched the 1999 movie, The Mummy.
Wow.
With Brendan Fraser.
Instant classic.
And Rachel Weisz, you are missing out on cinematic gold.
I mean, we've talked about how Brendan Fraser is a national treasure.
He is a national treasure.
I mean, that's what Nicolas Cage was trying to find in that movie.
It was a great movie, but Brendan definitely took top dog.
Well, yeah. You know, I'm really excited.
I saw that.
Cookie.
He spit. He spat.
A little piece of cookie. My apologies. I really hope the rumors are true that they're going to get him and her back for another one, which if I understand is supposed to be a sequel to. They're going to kind of
forget about the third one.
Which I don't mind that one.
Yeah.
I actually don't mind that the son has grown up. I actually find the kid to be a little annoying in The Mummy Returns. But anyway, let's talk about King Tut after we show what beer we got.
Yes, this looked interesting. I haven't seen this around.
You had said you'd never heard of garage beer. I have.
No.
Again, I used to be in the business. I've never had this, though. But we found one that's a classic lime beer, garage beer. It's only 4%, nothing super fancy, but that's okay. Only 95 calories. I won't get fat. So.
Where is it from?
The garage.
Whose?
But whose garage?
Whose garage?
I honestly don't know who makes this.
I don't even think it says. What?
Light beer with lime flavor.
Doesn't matter. Let's open it. I want to get started. I want to talk about Howard Carter.
I do like that there's an arrow saying open this end. And then the arrow pointing down is like crush to recycle. So
that was cute. Super cute. All right, cheers.
Cheers.
Oh, very limey.
I don't think it's overly limey, but it's
no,
good.
it's good. It's a great limey.
It's a great limey. Did you know there's a movie called Limey? It's I think it's a British term. I don't remember exactly what it means. I own the movie because it was part of like a 10 movie digital deal or whatever.
Yeah.
I have yet to watch it.
I mean, I like it.
No, this is good.
Delicious.
It's honestly a lot better than I anticipated.
Modelo, watch out. Just kidding. I love Modelo.
I mean, price-wise, though. Am I right?
I don't know. What is it?
This 12-pack was only $10.
What?
You might have an alternative go-to and treat yourself to Modelo. Kind of like what I did with Coors instead of Shandy.
Yeah, nice. Okay. So let's start with Howard Carter.
Yes.
So he was an archaeologist. He was born in 1874 to a modest family of artists in England.
Yeah.
Carter had little formal education. He was quiet. He was kind of sickly, but he had a true talent for drawing.
Okay.
By age 17, he found himself in Egypt as a junior draftsman. So he did technical drawings and plans and stuff. And he was hired to copy their colorful scenes.
Yeah.
On tomb walls.
Sure.
Okay.
Okay.
So in the 1890s, Egypt was already a magnet for adventurers and scholars and
looking for old shit.
Exactly. And young Carter was he was all about it as well.
For sure.
He learned excavation and recording techniques under other seasoned archaeologists.
Makes sense.
Carter's artistic eye and meticulous nature served him really well, and by 1900, barely into his mid-20s, he was appointed inspector of antiquities of Upper Egypt, overseeing sites that included the Valley of the Kings.
Who was the inspector of Lower Egypt? Anyways.
I was going to come up with a quip, and I
got nothing.
Just got crickets. I'm just going to drink a little bit.
And it's funny because like the whole Valley of the Kings, like the treasure trove of shit they found in that, I don't even know how big the area is, but man, lots of, obviously King Tut's, which was huge. So
King Tut's was not huge.
No, I know. It was
the discovery
grand.
Was huge.
Thank you for realizing what the fuck I was saying. Anyways.
So Carter earned a reputation as a capable archaeologist, and he was a little bit of a radical. In 1904, there was a confrontation known as the Saqqara Affair.
Oh.
And it kind of changed the course of his career. Carter stood his ground with his Egyptian site guards when a group of aggressive French tourists tried to force their way into a closed site.
Oh.
Even ordering the guards to eject other intruders. So the incident, Egyptians manhandling Europeans, caused a scandal.
Oh, dear.
And rather than apologize to the tourists, Carter defended his Egyptian staff.
Well, yeah, because those fucks were in the wrong. I mean, just because you're a tourist and
want to see
snooty-ass French fucks.
Yeah.
What the shit?
But facing official criticism and unwilling to back down, Carter ended up resigning from the Antiquity Service in 1905.
Okay.
At age 31, he found himself without a job painting watercolor scenes for tourists in Luxor, which used to be Thebes.
Correct.
Okay. So enter George Herbert, the 5th Earl of Carnarvon.
Of where?
Carnarvon. There we go. Carnarvon.
Where is that?
England.
Okay. Are you sure?
He's British.
No, you're making this shit up.
He's British. He's British, I tell you.
I say he's
so.
British.
Oh, sorry, Bonnie.
Bonnie's like, get on with it.
Carnarvon.
Are you sure that's supposed to be in England?
Yeah. Well, that's his title.
He's of where?
He's an earl. For the love of God, he's an earl.
My name is Earl. Did you ever watch that show?
Carnarvon was an English aristocrat. I capitalize R-A-T, aristocrat, because I keep saying aristocrat. Okay. He found a passion for Egyptian antiquities.
Okay.
And he just happened to be
one of the tourists that wanted a watercolor?
Filthy rich.
Well, that too.
In 1907, a mutual acquaintance recommended Carver to Lord Carnarvon.
Carter or Carver?
Carter to Lord...
Okay, because you said Carver.
Carnarvon.
Which is where?
Mr. C. The Earl of C.
Earl of Sea.
So
it sounds like he's out on the fucking ocean.
The Earl
there we go.
Was looking for someone knowledgeable to supervise excavations that he was wanting to fund. Okay. So despite their differences in class and in temperament and even their education, the Earl was a dapper high society figure and Carter kind of a rough and tumble kind of a guy. The two formed a really great partnership. And the Earl saw in Carter the man of Luxor. Yeah. He needed someone with local experience and modern methods. And Carter saw in the Earl the one thing that he desperately lacked was moolah.
Well, yeah. I mean, you need to fund shit.
Exactly.
Did you ever stay at the Luxor when you went to Vegas?
No.
I think I did once. Because that's the pyramid?
Yeah.
Do you know where Jonathan and the mummy found the key for...
Yeah, and Thebes.
Yeah, all right. Just making sure. Jesus.
For the next several years, Carter excavated sites across Egypt under the Earl's sponsorship.
Okay.
They dug noble tombs at Thebes and elsewhere, finding interesting artifacts, but nothing earth-shattering.
Yeah.
The Earl was an Egyptophile. Like, he loved everything Egypt.
Sure.
And for a while, he was pleased at what the returns were.
Yeah.
But they were both men were like desperately wanting like this big discovery.
So how did what are we calling him? Baron C? Earl C?
The Earl.
Yeah. The Baron C. How did he make it like his fortunes?
I didn't look into that.
Is it just because he was an aristocrat that he had, lands that were paying him kind of thing?
I didn't look into it because he's such a minor part of the story, but
no, I know. Like, what's your opinion?
Probably just him being an aristocrat.
Like that?
Yeah.
Okay. Because I was going somewhere with this, and now I don't remember where that was going. Fuck. All right, cool. Let's go.
So by 1914, their attention moved to Valley of the Kings.
Sure.
Where the American financier Theodore Davis had been excavating for years.
Oh.
Okay.
So then these other guys come in. He's like, dude, what the fuck, man?
Kind of, sort of. So Davis had found a few traces of King Tut.
Oh, really?
Mm-hmm. He found a small cache of funerary items.
Oh.
An embalming cache.
Oh.
Which is a collection of material that was used by the ancient Egyptians in the mummification process and then buried either with or separately from the body.
Right.
In this case, it was separate.
Right, obviously.
So it is believed that because the materials had come in contact with the body, they had possibly absorbed part of it and needed to be buried in order for the body to be complete in the afterlife.
Okay. I mean, that makes total sense.
There was also a fragmentary tomb called KV58,
That is a terrible
Valley of
name.
So King Valley, we'll say King Valley, KV 58.
King Valley, but it should be Valley of the Kings.
With the young king's name, King Tut's name, but declared the valley exhausted and gave up the concession in 1914. Theodore Davis was like, oh, here's a King Tut something rather, and here's a King Tut something rather, but that's all there is, so I'm going to leave.
Yeah, so you know what? You can have it.
Yeah, it was really strange.
That's wild because, like, clearly you did not find enough.
Like, you were so close, dude.
Oh, do you think he's like...
Oh, he was probably like, damn.
But hey, he didn't get the curse.
I did talk a little bit about the curse, and I took it out of my story.
Why?
Because it was a really long story.
Oh, okay.
It got to be a really long story.
Also, back to the Mummy movie. Mm-hmm. Do you know who, without them actually saying it, who Evie's parents were?
They talked about,
like they referenced Carter being her dad.
Was it?
Yeah, that's basically who they're talking about.
But they never said his name.
But they never actually said it. But that's what they're hinting at. So
we'll have to rewatch that.
Yeah, I mean, I'm down to watch that with you because I love that movie.
Yeah.
So, but anyways,
okay,
it's never
like actually
fully
said.
Or whatever. So anyway,
I mean, it was like her mother was an Egyptian and he was
an Englishman.
Yeah, something. Anyway.
Anyways.
He loved Egypt so much he married my mother, who was an Egyptian. Yeah.
Yep.
Anyway, the Earls secured their digging rights for the valley.
Okay.
Just as World War I was breaking out. So their plans had to be delayed.
All right.
Carter spent the war years in Egypt doing intelligence work as a translator and courier, and it wasn't until 1917 that he finally got back to digging.
Oh.
When he did, he pursued the task with like pinpoint precision focus.
Right.
Systematically excavating the Valley of the Kings as no one had before.
So like plot it off, do that.
Yeah.
Next plot.
Yeah.
Move on.
Exactly.
Okay.
So Carter was convinced that somewhere beneath the sand and rubble lay the tomb of Tutankhamun. He was at the time relatively obscure of the 14th century BC who had died young.
You've died very young, yeah.
Mm-hmm.
And was probably, like, what do they say, inbred and had some maladies, if you will.
He died at 19 years old.
Yep. But
and
he was they call him like the boy
king.
King, yeah.
So the most of my story is about Howard Carter and the discovery, not about King Tut.
I'm just saying shit I remember.
I know, but I did do research on King Tut.
Yeah.
And they think that he died of either malaria or
dysentery.
An infection from a broken femur bone.
I've heard that one before,
like,
yeah. Oof. Yeah.
Like he bled out and had an infection from his femur bone from like osteoporosis or some like bone degeneration. He was using canes and stuff.
A lot, yeah.
Yeah.
Yep.
So they think that he died in that way.
Okay.
But let me continue.
No, I'm sorry. Yeah.
That's okay. So
just saying stats.
So he thought that Tutankhamun was nearby. Others were skeptical.
Sure.
Nearly every pharaoh's tomb in the valley had already been found or plundered.
Yeah, that's the problem.
There was a lot of looting.
It's really sad. Just think of everything that we missed out on in history because people in the early 1900s or even late 1800s, who the fuck knows, hey man, we found this. Gold. And they melted it down. They sold pieces of it here and there and whatever just to make a couple bucks. Who knows what they fucking got paid for it.
Yeah.
But I mean, significant things went missing because of these looters. And that's why this was such a huge find because they found it 100% intact. They still had that little rope thing on the door that they had to like cut open and stuff and whatever. So yeah, it's just wild.
So Carter had those clues from earlier digs, ceramics with Tutankhamun's name on them, a few artifacts that might have been used in his funerary cache, and a hunch that the young king's final resting place had yet to be discovered.
Yeah.
From 1917 through 1921, season after season, which ranged from November to March.
Okay. Did they just not do it in the summer because it was just so fucking hot?
Yeah.
Oh, that makes sense.
Yep. Carter directed teams of local workers to clear the valley floor down to bedrock. So hundreds of tons of rock and sand were sifted and hauled away. The work was hot and tedious and expensive. The Earl, watching from the sidelines, grew increasingly impatient as each year passed without a big prize.
Yeah.
By 1922, the Earl had spent a fortune on this venture and informed Carter that he was ready to call it quits if nothing turned up in one last season.
Okay.
So Carter, ever determined, pleaded for one more chance.
Right.
He even offered to pay for the final season himself, which is a sign of his true conviction and loyalty to this.
Sure.
So touched by Carter's passion and perhaps like wanting to like stick around anyway, the Earl agreed to fund one last campaign in the autumn of 1922.
Okay.
So it was now or never.
Well, yeah.
Carter had saved one section of the valley for his final effort. It was a rough triangle kind of space near the entrance of the tomb of Ramses VI.
Yeah.
Where earlier excavations had found the ancient workmen's huts and sheds.
That's crazy, isn't it?
So digging out Ramses VI tomb, these workers would build like a nearby community.
Yeah, so they could go to work and do their thing.
Yeah, so they built this area, and that's where he wanted to dig, was underneath that little community.
Sure.
So as November began, Carter's crew, dozens of skilled Egyptian diggers who had worked with him for years, got to work early, hoping to beat the winter crowds of Luxor. They dismantled the old mud brick huts from a later period and began clearing the rubble underneath.
All right.
3 days in.
They found it?
That's it. 3 days. On November 4th, the first step was uncovered.
Could you imagine, like, holy shit. Because you know that step, even like, well, what is this? You could significantly tell it was a step leading to something. Because the steps went down, correct?
Yeah.
If I remember right? Yeah.
So by the time, so over the next few weeks, excitement had built as the staircase and upper doorway was reached.
Yes.
So by the time the Earl arrived, because he was in England at the time, Carter's team had found a flight of 16 steps leading to a sealed door.
Yeah. That's crazy.
Yeah. So the seal bore the jackal and 9 captives insignia of the royal necropolis, proof that it was indeed a pharaoh's tomb.
Yeah.
So even more thrilling, some seals included Tutankhamun's cartouche, which is a carved tablet or drawing of a scroll with an inscription, and it identified the owner of the tomb.
Right.
The Earl, who was in England at the time, was called to come. They actually reburied the steps.
So they could dig it out for him?
So they could, they had to wait for him to arrive. Egypt to England, we're talking about trains and carriages and donkeys to get from from London to Egypt.
Right.
So we're talking like 3 weeks of travel time.
Well, yeah, it's not like they had the flights we had today.
So Howard Carter reburied the steps so no one else could get in without this financial backer there. Okay. So Carter did not own this situation. The Earl did because he was funding it. And the Egypt Antiquities Service required the patron to be present for all major discoveries.
Oh, I didn't realize that was a thing. Okay.
So they dug up the steps again. Carter stood before that door on November 26th.
Oh, so 3 weeks.
Yeah, they literally waited for him to come.
Yeah.
He was ready to open a door that was sealed over 3,000 years ago.
That's so crazy. That would have been so fucking cool.
They knew Egyptian authorities would need to be present for any official opening of the tomb, but they took a little private peek.
Oh.
With a few of their chisels, they carved out a little piece in the corner of the door, and they inserted a candle.
Oh, okay.
Hot air would rush out, and the flame would flicker like a Hollywood movie.
Yeah.
And before his eyes, he said, quote, "Strange animals, statues, and gold everywhere, the glint of gold."
That's crazy.
Carter had found treasure beyond his wildest dreams, all piled haphazardly in a chamber not much larger than a modest living room.
Which is crazy that it was so haphazardly done. Mm-hmm. But, and again, I'm just, my memory on it isn't always the best, but I thought I read something once, heard something once, doesn't matter, that it was kind of like that just because of the process of his death was so quick.
It was quick.
And they're just like, well.
Yeah, so the second a pharaoh takes...
ill?
No.
Oh,
takes
death?
office.
Yeah. Office. They start building the tomb.
Yeah,
correct.
So Ramses VI, who had lived quite a few long years, had this massive tomb.
Yep.
And the boy king, Mr. King Tut, he died within 9 years, 10 years. Something like that.
He was like 10 when he took over.
So it would have been 9 years.
Obviously, those tombs took a long fucking time because they're digging into bedrock and granite and whatever, blah, blah, blah.
Yeah.
So they probably were like, well, this is as far as we got. Throw this shit in. Seal that door.
And when he had his injury to his femur, like it was broken.
Yeah.
He died within a week.
Which is crazy.
So they haphazardly threw everything in there for his afterlife.
Yeah, it's like, good luck.
Yeah.
See you on the other side.
So the Earl, unable to contain himself, asked Carter, "What do you see?" And there's a famous line that many of the scholars know.
Okay.
Carter replied, "Wonderful things." So, word spread quickly through the dig team and the small British community in Luxor. Tutankhamun's tomb had been found. And that evening, Carter, the Earl, and his daughter, the Earl's daughter, because she came with, slipped back into the antechamber for a closer look. They squeezed through the hole in the door, become the first people in over 3,000 years to enter King Tut's domain.
That's crazy.
The room was so full of artifacts, it was hard to navigate without potentially stepping on something.
I can imagine, yeah.
There were gilded ceremonial beads, beds that were shaped like divine cows and lions, and they stood propped up against the wall. There was dismantled chariots, and they had golden facades broken down into pieces. There were ornate caskets and storage chests crowded every inch, many still corded shut and sealed with ancient clay.
Yep.
There were shrines, statues of gods, jewelry, weapons, textiles, and a whole royal treasury buried into a single tomb.
Yep.
Carter's first impression noted, quote, "a strange and wonderful medley of extraordinary and beautiful objects heaped upon one another."
Could you imagine if the Earl decided to let Carter pay for this last season of digging?
He wouldn't have been a part of this.
No, he would have been like, are you fucking kidding me?
Yeah, he wouldn't have been a part of it.
He would have been so pissed.
Yeah.
But holy shit. What good luck for him that he decided, I'll do one more.
Yeah. So despite a layer of dust.
Well, yeah.
The colors in there were still so incredibly vivid.
Like vibrant.
Yeah.
I'm sure, yeah.
So one door from this antechamber had been forced open, leading to a smaller room.
Yeah.
Carter would dub the annex, which proved to be a cluttered storage space for more linens, oils, and provisions, likely ransacked by ancient thieves and left in disarray. But another door at the back of the antechamber was still plastered shut and sealed. Carter knew it had to have led to something more sacred, the inner burial chamber of the king, because there were two statues on either side, kind of like creating
guards. Yeah.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah. Watchmen.
So Carter was tempted to open it immediately, but he did pause. The world was now pounding on the tomb's door, literally, and other archaeologists, Egyptian officials, and the press are all wanting to be a part of this.
Well, yeah, because it's a monumental thing, because I don't know if you came across this at all, and it's fine if you didn't, but when was the last time prior to this that a tomb was found?
I did not look into that.
No, I know.
No.
I figured as much, but just curious because, like, whether it was a year, 5 years, 10 years, 20, whatever.
Yeah.
I know I thought, if I remember right, and again, I don't remember right a lot. It was probably a while.
Yeah.
I'm guessing.
So Carter decided they must do this by the book.
Sure.
The tomb was resealed again, and guards were posted.
Jeez.
There would be a formal opening of the burial chamber with official witnesses.
Right.
Carter could wait a little longer to see King Tut's coffin.
Yeah.
Because now he had a mountain of work to tackle with the antechamber alone. So over the next few days, Howard Carter began the slow, careful process of recording and clearing the antechamber, which alone contained more treasures than most archaeologists see in their lifetime.
Oh, yeah, for sure. There's so much shit they found in there. It's just amazing.
And because Carter was so methodical anyway, he did the perfect job of this.
Yeah.
Having witnessed sloppy excavations by others in the past, some which had destroyed valuable context, Carter was determined to do it right. So every object was to be photographed in situ exactly as it was found before being moved.
Sure.
So he enlisted the help of Perry Burton, a photographer from the Metropolitan Museum's team in Egypt, renowned for his skill in low light conditions. Egypt. Burton's camera captured beautiful black and white images of each stage of the excavation.
Nice.
Gilded tables and thrones emerging from darkness under the beam of flash lamps.
Yep.
Artifacts tagged with little numbered labels as they were cataloged.
Yep.
These images would soon be around the world, but they also served an important scientific purpose,
right,
creating a permanent visual record of the tomb's contents.
Exactly, yep.
So Carter knew that these artifacts were extremely fragile.
Oh, yeah, I mean, they've been sitting there for 3,000 fucking years.
Mm-hmm. So the tomb had been prone to moisture and heat over the millennia. Mm-hmm. Wood had warped and textiles had disintegrated.
Right.
And metals had corroded beneath their golden veneers. So without immediate conservation, many objects could have crumbled to dust upon touch.
Right.
The textiles specifically have only survived in Burton's photos.
Oh, did they all...
They all just
disintegrated?
Yeah.
Yeah, that's too bad.
Yeah, so some of the textiles that you can see in his photos no longer exist just because of...
Right. No, and that's why it was great that he did what he did with the photographing of everything in its place prior to moving it, because he knew there's a good chance we're going to lose some of this shit. So how would have looters gotten to that one room?
They probably, the workers built on top of it, so maybe they knew that it was there before they did that.
Because they also, they found the first door was sealed. Obviously, his coffin room was sealed. Did they get into it from a different way or something?
I don't know.
It's just strange.
Or they sealed it after they looted.
But they didn't do a good job of looting.
They didn't.
Because they left a lot of shit.
Yeah.
Anyways.
So Carter assembled an all-star team of specialists. He called in Arthur Mace, a conservator from the Met, chemist Alfred Lucas from the Egyptian Antiquity Service to stabilize artifacts with chemical treatments. Architects and draftsmen like Walter Hauser and Lindsay Hall were brought to make detailed maps and drawings of the tomb's layout.
Okay.
Renowned scholars James Henry Breasted and Al Gardner came to help decipher inscriptions, and texts on the objects.
Yeah.
So it was like a multidisciplinary effort, because they also have the photographer and they have the Egyptian diggers and Carter himself.
Right.
So this was perhaps the first time an archaeological discovery gathered such a comprehensive team of experts in real time.
Sure.
So, he really did a great job of this.
Well, and it's great that he had the mindset to fucking do it this way so he could do it properly. for lack of any explanation beyond that.
Yeah.
He did it properly, which is fucking awesome. So, no, it's great.
So, working in the stifling confines of the tomb, often laying on their sides or bellies to examine objects in tight corners, Carter's team inched forward. They assigned numbers to each item. Eventually, over 5,000 artifacts would be registered.
That's crazy.
Small wonders emerged daily. Little figurines that were like servant statues to accompany the king, beautifully carved alabaster vessels, game boards, royal garments, even baskets of food and seeds.
Well, he needed it for the afterlife.
What? I know.
I mean, that's the shit they believed in, which is just crazy.
And these all survived.
Yeah, I know.
There's literally a bowl of coriander seeds and blueberries.
Yeah, isn't that fucking amazing?
Crazy.
Yeah, it's just wild. So, I'm pretty sure my mom still has it. We've had this book in my family for years, like decades. But it's a really cool, like, obviously not from these pictures. It's from, like, when they were on display, because they're all color, book of King Tut's stuff.
That's cool.
And because I don't know, I think they still do it. But they would tour those around. I think it was actually just not that long ago they did it again. I think it was in Chicago, maybe, because that's obviously a huge museum. But I would love to actually see that shit, like the real shit. But I unfortunately never have yet.
Yeah.
Anyways.
So every object told a story about the life and the death of Tutankhamun's time.
Right.
Carter often remarked that the tomb was like a time capsule from Egypt's golden age, obviously. Like, of course that is.
Well, yeah.
Carter proceeded with caution and love. When they opened one large chest, they found delicate ceremonial garments and jewelry layered within.
Right.
And to remove them without damage, Burton would photograph the exposed top layer. Then Lucas would apply a thin solution of melted paraffin wax to hold that layer together.
Sure.
Once it stiffened, they lifted it out, revealing the next layer, which was then photographed and treated again.
And then just repeat,
In one case, it reportedly took a week to empty a single chest safely, layer by layer.
I mean, do it right.
These were careful methods and created a brand new standard for archaeologists.
Which is great.
By mid-February 1923, nearly 3 months after the initial find, Carter's team had cleared most of the antechamber.
And just the antechamber. So at this point, have they still not opened his coffin?
They have not.
Jesus Christ. I mean, I suppose, like you said, they could barely walk through it without stepping on shit. So, like, let's clear this out and then we'll go there. So, I mean, it makes sense.
And that's what they did.
Yeah.
They were finally ready to open the sealed barrier chamber officially. On February 16th, 1923, with the world watching, Carter, accompanied by Egyptian officials, the Earl, and a few honored guests, broke the seal on that inner door.
Jeez.
Inside, occupying almost the entire space, loomed a stack of massive gilded wooden shrines, enclosing the king's stone sarcophagus.
Sarcophagus?
Sarcophagus.
Sarcophagus.
It took immense effort over subsequent weeks to carefully remove these shrines one by one.
I bet.
When they finally lifted the lid of the stone sarcophagus, they found not one, but 3 coffins, each inside the other, like some Egyptian Russian doll.
Yeah, the nesting
dolls.
Yeah. I mean, they're Russian. That's where they
Russian nesting dolls
came from, but yeah.
The final one, made of solid gold, contained Tutankhamun's mummy. Not money. Mummy! Mummy, where's the money?
I think our title is Tutankhamun's money. Why am I so laughing at that?
I don't know.
I just absolutely love his, what do you call it? The headpiece.
Yeah. That was what I was going to say next. Covering the head and shoulders of the mummy was Tutankhamun's golden funerary mask.
Yes.
And it's probably one of the most iconic objects
hands down. Like, I can literally picture it in my head right now.
Yeah.
With the weird little, snake thing and whatever coming off the top, and just like the blue and the gold. It's just so fucking beautiful. Ooh, cramp in my leg.
So even Carter, he actually had a diary, and he was meticulous at filling it out, and that has survived to this day.
I'm assuming it's in the museum with the King Tut stuff, right?
Yeah, if it's not in the museum, it's in like
a museum.
A museum as a cataloged type thing.
Sure.
In his notes, he described the mask's sad but tranquil expression and mused how his likeness of the long-dead boy king, until now known only by name, suddenly made the past real. With the burial chamber opened, the team's work was far from over.
Of course.
Another chamber, the so-called treasury, was discovered packed with yet more riches. The king's canopic chest with alabaster jars containing his internal organs, guarded by gilded statues of goddesses, dozens of servant figurines, and stunning life-size gold figures of a jackal, which is the god Anubis, perched atop a shrine, and countless other ritual and funerary objects.
So, as you know, I like Egyptian stuff and whatever, as we talked about prior. One of my barn cats I named Anubis.
Yeah?
Yeah, because he was one with the more, pointy nose, not your traditional cat, if you will.
Yeah.
Because you don't see those as much, but they're there. But he had a little more pointy kind of, so I named him Anubis.
That's cute.
And it's funny because I could even tell because he was, as a baby or a kitten, whatever, but he was all black, so it was great.
Yeah. So the treasury room wouldn't be fully cleared until 1927.
Wow. So
4 years.
Let's say 4.5 years, roughly, whatever you want to call it, after the initial find. And then they didn't get into his room until you said that was February of 23, right? Mm-hmm. Jesus.
And yet, it took a full decade for Carter's team to conserve, document, and remove the contents of Tutankhamun's tomb for study and safekeeping.
That's crazy.
10 years.
Sorry, I have a cramp in my leg. So
do we need to take a break?
Yeah, let's take a break. We'll be right back. And we're back. Thanks for letting me walk that cramp off. That was weird.
So each season, they would labor from the mild winter months into spring, and then carefully pack up the conserved artifacts to be shipped north to Cairo.
Okay.
And then temporarily rebury the tomb entrance.
So they reburied it every time.
Every season.
Just so other people wouldn't pilfer.
Yes.
And pillage and rape and plunder. But I mean, it makes sense. God, that would suck to have to fucking redig it out every season. Mm-hmm. But I mean, I totally get it because people back then, it was a lawless fucking state. They're going to be like, no one's watching.
Yeah.
Let's go see what we can grab.
The last crate left the valley in 1932, marking the end of one of the most exhaustive and fruitful archaeological undertakings in history.
10 fucking years. Jesus.
So the sheer scale of the find and the effort required to process it was unprecedented. Over 5,000 items were cataloged, including furniture, clothing, weapons, chariots, musical instruments, food, wine, jars of cosmetic oils, and linen bandages to wrap
we don't need no stinking badges
to wrap the king's body.
That's crazy.
Isn't that crazy?
So I don't remember if this is did they actually take out the sarcophagus that he was buried in? Were they able to remove that? Because I know there was the nesting doll type situation.
I want to say that they did that in tomb, in the tomb. They didn't take it all out, but I can't be sure on that.
Okay. I was just curious because it'd be kind of cool to see the progression of what they got to, basically. But,
I mean, you can see the photos.
No, I know that.
But I don't know if they took all three of them out and did it, in Cairo, or if they kept it all in the tomb as is and took it out.
So as I'm thinking of this, I need to remember after this episode, since we're talking about it, I need to text my mom when we're done and say, do you still have that book? And
that'd be cool.
Almost positive she does. Oh, geez. You would love it. But I also think they bought it when they went to go see it. And I don't remember when they saw it initially like that. Because it was on, again, they packed everything up and they went on tour, more or less. So, yeah.
So, news of this discovery of a near intact pharaoh tomb spread like wildfire.
Oh, sure. I mean, that's big news.
By the time the tomb was officially opened, journalists from all over the globe had descended on Luxor, desperate for a peek at the wonderful things being brought to light.
Yep.
The world was in the grip of Tutmania. In London, New York, Paris, and beyond, newspaper headlines wrote about each new finding from the tomb: a golden throne, a jeweled dagger, a chariot, the king's mummy. It was like a media sensation.
Yeah.
And ancient Egypt had always been intrigue throughout the public.
Sure.
But Tutankhamun's trove kicked it into overdrive, and it inspired Egypt-themed fashion, songs, dances, and decor across the world.
I mean, who doesn't know Walk Like an Egyptian by the Bengals?
So, amidst the enthusiasm, there were tension.
Of course.
The discovery occurred at a politically charged moment in Egypt.
Oh.
The country had only just earned nominal independence from Britain in February of 1922.
Oh, shit.
Mm-hmm.
So like,
less than...
9 months prior?
Mm-hmm,
Holy
9 months
shit.
prior. Yeah.
Okay.
So in reality, a British-backed government still wielded power, but Egyptian nationalism was surging.
Okay.
So many Egyptians viewed their ancient heritage as a source of national pride. Why wouldn't you?
Yeah.
And resented the fact that foreign archaeologists controlled access to it. I don't blame them.
I don't blame them, but at the same time, they funded it. They're the ones who found it. The other guy gave up on it, whatever, blah, blah, blah. I don't know where he was from. I don't remember if you said.
He was American.
He was?
Yeah.
Okay. But, like, so I don't blame him, but at the same time, y'all didn't find it.
The Egyptian diggers did.
Well, employed by the British people.
Yeah. So... Tutankhamun's tomb arriving on the scene like a gift from the ancient gods became a symbol of Egypt's glory just when the modern nation was finding its own voice.
Sure.
Egyptians were thrilled by the discovery, but they wanted ownership of it.
Well,
the tomb's riches, some feared, might be carted off abroad like so many previous finds. So who has the right to Tutankhamun, the foreigners or Egypt? Unfortunately, early missteps by the Earl and Carter fanned the flames.
Of course.
In January 1923, eager to cash in on the tomb's popularity, the Earl struck an exclusive deal with the Times of London, giving that newspaper sole rights to report on the excavation.
Sure.
Competing news outlets were furious at being cut out, including American and French reporter who had rushed to Luxor.
Well, but it's... Okay, so you're pissed. That just sounds like a you problem.
But
he made a deal with a particular newspaper.
But more significantly, Egyptian journalists were outraged that their country's greatest archaeological find was being treated like private property and funneled to the British press.
But in a way, it was private property because he's the one who funded it. And I see both sides of it.
Yeah.
I mean, I get it. It's in their country. It's their heritage. It's their history. Everything about that. But at the same time, this British dude is the one that found it. I mean, I get it.
Egyptian newspaper Al Haram ran an editorial accusing the Earl in exploiting the mortal remains of our ancient fathers before our eyes.
Jesus. Okay.
The Times monopoly became a rallying point for Egyptian nationalists who saw it as yet another example of foreigners profiting off Egypt's heritage. Under pressure, the Egyptian government even briefly shut down access to the tomb to assert control, though the Earl's clout kind of reopened it. Like, yeah, he was rich. Carter and the Earl focused on the tomb itself, were blindsided by this backlash.
Okay.
And another faux pas followed. Carter hosted a special private viewing inside the tomb for VIP visitors and the British team's wives.
Oh.
And pointedly invited no Egyptian officials or their families. To Egyptians, this felt like an insult and a confirmation of imperial arrogance. So the local press pounced on it, fueling a wave of nationalist resentment.
Okay.
Soon, the conversation in Egypt wasn't just about who could write newspaper articles or visit the tomb. It evolved into a bigger debate about who would control Egypt's antiquities and, by extension, Egypt's destiny. So Tutankhamun's boyish face began appearing on nationalist pamphlets and posters, and the pharaoh had become a political symbol.
So do you know where all of his stuff normally resides today? Did you come across that at all? Isn't it in the
I think
Cairo
it might
Museum?
be in the Cairo Museum.
So sounds like they won. Just saying. But like what you're saying, and again, I see it from their side. I really do. But devil's advocate kind of thing.
Yeah.
This fucking Earl with his boatloads of money from wherever he got it from is the one who funded all of it and everything. So it just sounds like, well, we didn't find it. Let's figure it out. It just seems kind of fucking petty at the same time.
Yeah.
If you're looking at it from the Earl side or the British side, whatever you want to call it. So it's like, okay, I get it. Yes, it's in your country.
Yeah.
But you didn't find it.
Yeah. So, alarmed by the growing uproar and facing criticism even back in Britain for mishandling press relations, the Earl tried to smooth things over. He promised to respect Egyptian laws and was negotiating terms for the division of the fines. So, foreign excavators were entitled to a share, about half, often half at least, of the fines as a condition of their permit. However, given Tutankhamun's tomb was essentially intact, the antiquities service position, per an earlier concession agreement that I didn't research, was that nothing could leave Egypt if the tomb was intact.
Oh.
So the Earl initially hoped to argue the tomb wasn't technically intact since ancient Robert had entered it at one point and then resealed, and thus claim a portion of him for himself. But he would never get the chance to press that claim.
Because he died?
He died. In April 1923, the Earl died just 5 months after the discovery. He had been bitten on the cheek by a mosquito, and the bite became infected. Blood poisoning set in, and complicated by pneumonia, he died at 57 years old.
So they did the majority of all of this after his death. He was the first one to be taken by the curse.
The potential mummy curse. Well, yeah, like he died and a couple other workers died, but it was like throughout the years.
Do you know what's funny? People die all the fucking time. So people, superstitious people, oh my God, it must have been
Curse of the Mummy.
The Curse of the Mummy and so on. It's like, no, pure fucking happenstance. This dude got fucking bit by a mosquito or whatever, and he fucking died.
Yeah.
It had nothing to do with the Curse of the Mummy or whatever bullshit you want to come up with. But it's funny because that was a big thing about it. Mm-hmm. It's like weird shit started to happen after they found this, but it's all just like, look at it rationally.
Yeah.
That's just what happened.
So after his death, the responsibility fell squarely on Howard Carter.
Makes sense.
And while he had never sought fame, Carter now found himself as the central figure in this high-profile saga.
Oh, right.
So he was about to face the Egyptian authorities.
Oh, dear.
The Earl's widow and daughter inherited his estate, including the excavation rights. And Carter, fiercely loyal to his patron's memory, wanted to honor their interests.
Right.
So he had assumed that when all was done, he might grant the Earl's estate a portion of the fines as a reward. The Earl had invested about £36,000 in the search, which is approximately $3.58 million today.
Okay. Wow, that's a lot of money.
But in the climate of rising Egyptian nationalism, the idea of splitting Tutankhamun's treasure was becoming politically weak. The new Egyptian government, led by nationalist figures, had no intention of letting such national treasures leave the country. Matters came to a head in early 1924. Egypt's new Minister of Public Works, Marcos Behana, under whose jurisdiction the Antiquities Department fell, was a fiery nationalist with very little love for the British, and he viewed Carter and his team with some suspicion.
How's that word go?
Suspicion.
So, okay, so that just sounds like a personal fucking grudge, and I think that's kind of shitty.
But they were under British rule for the longest time.
I understand that, but now that they're not, don't have to be a dick about it. I understand there's probably some tension because of it. I totally understand why there would be. But it's like, all right, well, I don't like the British. Well, yeah, because you were under their fucking rule and you didn't care for it. And now you're not. I'm sorry. It sounds like you're just kind of pissed off.
So that winter, as Carter prepared to continue the work, Hannah insisted that Egyptian officials be given oversight and access to the tomb at all times.
Okay.
But Carter was a solitary digger and said, nope. Tensions boiled over when Carter refused a delegation of Egyptian inspectors entry to the tomb, supposedly because he was planning to a private visit for his own friends. To Egyptian officials, this was the last straw.
What was the first one?
Minister Hannah took dramatic action and he shut down the excavation, stationing police at the tomb, and took away Carter's permission to continue in January of 1924.
Okay.
Carter refused, padlocking some areas himself, and posted a public notice at Luxor's Winter Palace Hotel protesting the government's heavy-handed interference. This bold and potentially rude move only rallied Egyptian public opinion further against him.
Of course, because they didn't like it. So they're going to fuck that guy.
So crowds in Cairo and Luxor reportedly cheered Hannah's stance, calling him the Minister of Tut, and celebrating that an Egyptian was standing up to the foreigner on behalf of their ancestral
Minister
king.
of Tut, who didn't do fucking anything. He did literally fuck all to find this. But yeah, he's the Minister of Tut.
Calm down.
I'm sorry. This is starting to irritate me.
I'm just giving you facts.
I know you are. I'm not getting mad at you.
So Carter felt betrayed and frustrated, packed up and left Egypt, and even launched a lawsuit to press the Earl's estate claim to part of the tomb's contents.
Yeah.
For most of 1924, work on the tomb halted as the dispute played out. It was a diplomatic impasse, Carter in London and New York giving lectures and garnering sympathy among some of the archaeological community, the Egyptian authorities standing firm at Tutankhamun's treasures, stating firm that Tutankhamun's treasure belonged wholly in Egypt. Behind the scenes, cooler heads did try to find a compromise. So later that year, the situation evolved unexpectedly due to unrelated events. The assassination of a high British official in Cairo led to the fall of the Egyptian government in late 1924. Government, and a more British-aligned administration took over. So suddenly, Hannah and his stance were out, and the new government wanted to resolve the very public Tutankhamun conflict.
Right.
So by 1925, a deal was struck. Carter would be allowed to return and finish the work, but with clear condition. The Earl's estate and Carter would relinquish any claim to the finds, and in return, the estate would receive the £36,000, essentially reimbursing the Earl's costs. So, all of Tutankhamun's treasures would remain in Egypt to be property of the Egyptian Museum in Cairo, which was a landmark decision, and no longer would the spoils of a major Egyptian find be split up or leave the country.
So, they could have also done it where it didn't have to leave, but these people owned it and would have profited off of, because clearly it's in the museum. I mean, that's why people go to museums. They pay money and such and whatever. It didn't have to leave.
Yeah.
But just, all right, fine. We're just going to pay you back for finding our treasure that we couldn't fucking find. Dumb.
You are heated.
On such a cold day.
Many credit the discovery of Tutankhamun and the controversies around it with ending the practice of foreign digs taking a share of antiquities.
Yeah.
And ever since, foreign teams excavating in Egypt know that everything stays in Egypt museums.
Yeah.
Cartier, having little choice, accepted the terms.
Sure.
Excuse me.
You're excused.
Returning to the tomb, frankly, he was so relieved that his great discovery was unfinished, and he desperately wanted to complete the catalog.
Sure. Oh, my dear.
I could tell I'm talking too much today.
Yeah, well, it happens. Plus, your teaching doesn't help.
Excuse me.
You're good.
So, returning to the tomb in late 1925, he resumed work, now nominally under the employ of the Antiquities Service, but still directing his royal team of excavator and specialists. And the atmosphere at this time was more subdued.
Right.
The global press had largely moved on to other news, though they'd returned for big moments like the public unwrapping of the mummy in 1925.
Okay.
Under the watchful eyes of the Egyptian authorities, Carter finished the job diligently by 1932, packing up the last items for the Cairo Museum. However, accusations that Carter might have helped himself to some of Tutankhamun's treasures
Seriously?
on the side.
So they just made shit up, or is this substantial evidence to prove this? They're just
I'm not sure.
They made shit up.
Let me continue.
All right.
During the period of conflict, the Egyptian press and some officials openly questioned Carter's integrity.
Oh, for fuck's sake. Go on. Sorry.
They suspected, not without reason, that during the tenuous days after this discovery, Carter and the Earl may have entered the tomb privately and perhaps removed small items before the authorities were fully involved. In particular, it was rumored that Carter had made a surreptitious night entry into the sealed burial chamber days before the official opening, which, as we know now, he actually did.
Yes.
If so, had he perhaps pocketed a few choice items?
Okay. How would they even know that?
Let me continue, because I actually say. So Carter denied any wrongdoing, and there was no hard proof at the time. But the suspicions led the Egyptian Antiquities Service to take precautions, and they assigned minders and conducted thorough inventories of all items. An Egyptian inspector checked the catalog in 1927 and found a small, beautifully carved wooden head of Tutankhamun's emerging from a lotus that was not listed in Carter's records. It had been tucked in a little box, apparently ready for shipment. When confronted, Carter claimed that it had been found outside the tomb, in the fill of the entrance corridor, and not part of the official tomb. The Egyptians were skeptical. Why wasn't it recorded then? Was Carter attempting to keep the peace? The lotus head incident remained a point of contention. Decades later, evidence would suggest Carter did indeed spirit away some small artifacts. A letter from Alan Gardner, one of his team members, one of the multidisciplinary team members, came to light in which Gardner accused Carter of giving him an inscribed amulet that in fact must have come from the tomb, putting Gardner in a sticky ethical spot as well. It seems Carter has sworn it wasn't from the tomb, but museum experts identified it as unique to Tutankhamun's burial assemblage, exposing Carter's lie. Additionally, a stash of some 19 tiny objects, from beads to bracelet pieces related to Tutankhamun, ended up in Carter's niece's possession after his death. They were quickly turned over to the Metropolitan Museum of Art in 1940 and eventually were returned to Egypt in 2011 once their true origin was recognized.
It's a long time.
It's a long time. And he did take some.
Apparently, yeah.
When the last artifacts were cataloged and sent off to Cairo in 1932, Howard Carter's main work was done. He had taken Tutankhamun from obscurity to immortality. Carter spent the remaining years of his life somewhat adrift, for nothing could stop the discovery that he had already made.
Yeah, makes sense.
He received no great honors from the British government. In fact, many of the establishments were still annoyed by the diplomatic tussles in Egypt and perhaps by Carter's personality as well. In Britain, he was never fully knighted or lauded as one might expect. As one biographer put it, Carter became world famous yet curiously uncelebrated in his homeland.
That's too bad.
Nevertheless, he certainly remained famous in the public eye. He embarked on lecture tours in America and Europe, recounting the tale of Tutankhamun's tomb to audiences. He authored a multi-volume book called The Tomb of Tutankhamun, detailing the discovery and the artifacts. When not lecturing, Carter acted as a sort of art consultant and agent for collectors. Ironically, dealing in antiquities was a way he made a living, though Tutankhamen's treasures were off limits.
Right.
Carter never married. In his later years, Carter divided his time between London and Luxor, but as the 1930s progressed and political wind shifts further, his time in Egypt grew less and less.
Right.
The Egyptian government had taken full ownership of his antiquities, and Carter's era was over.
That's too bad.
On March 2nd, 1939, Howard Carter passed away in London at the age of 64, likely from non-Hodgkin's lymphoma.
Oh, okay.
In a quiet cemetery far from the sun-baked sands of Thebes, he was laid to rest. And the epitaph on his gravestone said, and this was on a wishing cup in Tutankhamun's tomb, it said, quote, "May your spirit live. May you spend millions of years, you who love Thebes, sitting with your face to the north wind, your eyes beholding happiness." Carter's discovery changed the field of Egyptology forever. And Tutankhamun became arguably the most famous pharaoh in the world, precisely because his tomb was survived mostly intact.
Yeah, not ransacked.
Mm-hmm.
Yep.
So the once obscure pharaoh who ruled for only 9 or 10 years and died around the age of 19 achieved in death a fame far greater than his peers. Ramses the Great built soaring temples and had a 67-year reign, but it is the boy king who adorns posters, books, and imaginations elsewhere, all because the tomb escaped looting and was found by the right man at the right time. In a sense, Howard Carter gave Tutankhamun the immortality that ancient Egyptians so desired for their rulers.
Yep.
And by finding his resting place, Carter ensured that Tutankhamen's name would be remembered for millennia to come, fulfilling the pharaoh's hope to spend millions of years alive in memory.
Well, yeah, he did it because, again, the reason why you know him so well over like Ramses or anything, it's like, could you tell me what Ramses looks like with his funeral mask and all that? No, because it wasn't there.
Yeah.
Where you got to see all the shit for Tutankhamun. So yeah, makes sense. So
yeah.
Cool.
So what'd you think of the garage beer?
I like it. I'm actually pleasantly surprised with it, and the lime flavor is pretty good.
Yeah, so I like it too.
It's a basic lager, but yeah,
it's delish.
It is delicious. I've never, like I said, never had it. Never thought of buying it, but we saw it and we're like, yeah, let's give it a try. So yeah, no, I like it.
Well,
I suppose. All right, buffoons, that's it for today's episode.
Buckle up because we've got another historical adventure waiting for you next time. Feeling hungry for more buffoonery? Or maybe you have a burning question or a wild historical theory for us to explore?
Hit us up on social media. We're History Buffoons Podcast on YouTube, X, Instagram, and Facebook. You can also email us at historybuffoonspodcast@gmail.com. We are Bradley and Kate, music by Corey Akers.
Follow us wherever you get your podcasts and turn those notifications on to stay in the loop.
Until next time, stay curious and don't forget to rate and review us.
Remember, the buffoonery never stops.